Boys, ladies, gentlemen, everything in between, thank you for clicking on another video. Remember, guys, nugs, not drugs. Anyways, you see the title of the video. We'll get right into it, okay? So you might say, Noah, I see what's on the screen. This is a game between you and Calvin. Yes, Calvin, the same guy that, tried to, insert video.
I'll just shake it.
What? You ain't gonna let me checkmate you with 2 nights?
I'll stay for a draw.
That guy. We have been playing several games, daily games on chess.com, and I'm going to analyze a few of them today. Sometimes I do garbage, sometimes I do amazing. My rating is 1555. Of course, that is the average. But I don't always play like that. And Calvin doesn't always play like an 878 player. And today I will show you a few of those games. Here, this first game. Boys! You know what time it is? This is our sponsor of the video. Just kidding, we don't have a sponsor. And if you skipped, I know you're not a real fan. However, if you'd like for us to have a sponsor, please like, subscribe, and comment on the video. This was one of my best games. I think it was a 95% or something like that, and I was really proud of it. So I'm going to analyze that with you guys today. So, he goes E4. Every time Calvin plays one of the central pawns, I always match him in the middle. He does this. That is not where the knight needs to go. Not right now. It has a perfectly good square on the F3 square, but he decided to block his king. I think he should attack my pawn, but now since this, I don't have to guard it because he's not attacking it in a normal opening. So I go knight f6, attacking his pawn, basically straight away asking him the question. He guards it. Not the best move. You want to develop your pieces first off. So please do so next time if you're watching this, Calvin. Hopefully you're watching this. Anyways, I strike in the center, straight off rip, blasting open that center. He moves his knight again. We do not typically want to move our knights twice, any piece. We do not want to do that twice in the opening. We want to develop our pieces. We want to have the maximum amount of squares covered as possible. I take. Okay, he goes here. Probably would have been best to trade off because there is enough defenders. Maybe he did not want to have the possibility of trading queens, but that leads me to be able to take another pawn. I am now up 2 pawns, and he can get a little bit of development here, but that should be fine, as we shall see. So he goes bishop d3. He takes, developing a piece, getting himself ready to castle. Great move from Calvin. My hat almost fell off. My crown. I shall remain a king. Anyways, knight B knight c6. So I develop another piece. It does not get me close to castling. Maybe a better a better move might have been bishop b4. If he attacks it and he wants to weaken the queen side, my bishop would end up being on b6. But I develop and getting closer to castle. This is not a bad move either, though. So he goes here. He attacks my bishop, which is not really being attacked because this is guarded by 1, 2 pieces. my queen, my rook. So this gives me the opportunity to take with check. Now, I see this, and I'm like, hey, if I take this, right, he has to either not castle, or he has to make his knight do another move in the opening. And he chose to do the extra knight move. So, I take here and there, making him all discombobulated.
Cross to left cheek. Discombobulate.
And having his knights all over the place. Now, I am putting pressure on the knight, and he castles. I develop my knight towards the center of the board, asking if he wants to trade. He does. Ooh. In hindsight, hey. 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 Hey, fill him with the venom and eliminate him. Okay, I'm stopping. Hey, sorry. Anyways, I take with the pawn. You know, it might have been good to... I'll cut it out anyway. I'm going to look so cool in editing. I should, maybe, possibly, have taken with the rook. I think that would have been... but then he could play that. No. Good idea. Good idea. Okay. I develop is a bishop. Is a bishop. It has eyes on the king square. I'm just putting pressure on it. And I also connect my rooks. Really good move. Boom. He pins my knight to my rook. So if I move my knight, boop, anywhere, he can take my rook. And bishops are 3 points. Rooks are 5 points. Bad trade. We don't want to do that. So I move my rook. This is also a mate in one threat. So if he takes my knight, I can take his rook, and that is back rank checkmate since his rooks are not connected. That's why we want our rooks connected, so they can defend one another. He takes with check. I also take back. He moves back. So, same thing happening, right? This is literally, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed from this point, right? Even after this trade, right? I am still threatening. If he takes that knight, I have back rank checkmate. So he cannot do that. That's why he goes back. That's why he goes back to protect the back square. I put pressure on his bishop. So, I think this was a brilliant move. I'm not entirely sure. But the point of the moves is same thing. If he takes my bishop, that's back rank checkmate. So I am being like, hey man, you better get out of here, bruh. And he has to move either here or here. And then these ways I can attack. He decides to sacrifice his knight for whatever reason. Keep in mind, Calvin is still in 878. And I even gave him the opportunity. I was like, hey brother, would you like for me to put on the advanced settings that I start without a piece or two and we can play that way? He says, no, I don't learn that best that way. So this is what we're doing. He still makes mistakes. And that is free. It's also attacking the bishop now because I took it with the pawn. I can just take that with check, by the way, meaning he has to trade because we are up. He has to trade off the bishop. I take with the rook. He attacks my rook. I check him while also protecting my rook. He has to go back. This way, I solidify my knight. It's not an outpost yet, but it can be if he does something stupid. Anyways, he attacks my knight. I move out of the way. He attacks my rook. I move out of the way. He lines up whatever that is. Okay. It would not have been bad to go check on f4. Rook f4. Then to trade off, because we are up. We are up. We'd be up a piece, right? And a pawn, so 4 points. And then we could slowly pick off, but I just decide to move out of the way, threaten another pawn. He attacks my rook. I move back. He does not protect his pawn. I give him a check first. Oh, 2 checks. Oh, forgot about that. So this lures his king over. Boom, and leaves the pawn open for the taking. He activizes his king. Activizes. What is that? Am I just trying to sound smart because I'm a chess nerd? Ew. Anyways, I protect the pawn that he is attacking. He does that. That's not a terrible move. It's not a terrible move because he immediately asks me the question, how are you going to protect these 2 pawns? I'm not. I'm going after yours, good sir. Boom! Another pawn for the taking. I am up 5 points of material now. He blocks himself, making his king look goofy. So from this point, I know what he wants to do is he wants to get his pawn on h4 to h8 with promotion. Your boy's not going to let that happen. If anything, I'm going to sacrifice the knight, and I think I end up doing that anyway because I have the pawn advantage. Boom. I say, hey, you can't even get close, brother. He's like, oh yeah? I'm going to try anyway. And I'm like, okay. Well, these pawns are rushing down the board. What are you going to do about it, good sir? I am activating my king. I'm activizing my king.
Bruh.
I cut off the king, the white king. You know, still wearing black. I'm the black king. I might edit that one out. He moves back. I push another pawn. They are rushing down the board. Not American. They're rushing down the board. I'm cutting him off. I'm like, hey, you can take that pawn. But the other one is like, it's going to promote if you do that. And he's like, okay, I'll allow that to happen for whatever reason. And here I correctly calculate that you can take my knight if you want. You cannot push forward, but that's going to mean I'm going to queen, and I have enough time to stop you. So I queen anyway. I don't know what that was, brother. All right, I don't know what that was. So, this move, right? He takes knight on f8. I would then take his pawn with check, promote another one, get an easy victory. He pushes. I have no idea why he does this. Maybe I should get Calvin on here one time to explain his moves. Anyways, check. Knight e6 checks the king. He moves forward. I do another check, forcing him to not promote. This is my knight. He's not attacking anything right now. I said, bro, get out of here. We don't like your kind around these parts, all right? Get your king out of here. I throw another check. Here, I move the king forward. He cannot promote because, obviously, I'm going to take with check. And if you look, that's actually checkmate. He cannot promote, or that leads to mate in 1. Anyways, he goes right here. For whatever reason, I think, this pawn is defended. And this is where my one miss of the game comes in. I check him, which was not the best move. You know why? Because he can take the pawn. He can run away now. But I'm like, oh, crap. You know, he can't run away. I give a check. And then I take the pawn, making his big-time threat null and void. He cannot promote and have any sort of comeback now. Oh, that was a little fast. My bad. I got a little excited there. I throw in this check. It is guarded by my knight and my king. So he cannot take it no matter what. He goes here, right? My queen is cutting him off. I am saying, no, brother, you cannot go away. What do you think you're doing?
Get over here!
And also here, I correctly realize that it's a mate in 3. Your brother realizes it's a mate in 3, as I should, because I'm almost 1600 on this daily game. Anyways, I block off everything. I'm saying, hey, you cannot move anywhere. Your only legal move is to push the pawn and get mated. Mated. And that's what happens. A beautiful checkmate with the knight. Sexy. That's sexy. Anyways, boom, bang, bop, bow. Alright? Let's see. Another game. I get mated. We'll do this one. Show my flair. Okay. This shows, right? I think he has beaten me 4 times out of 80 at this point. I am with the white pieces. I go e4. And I play the Ponziani opening. I have no idea what this move is. But it's something. I strike into the center. He guards. He guards. This is a London without the bishop out. And that is bad. So, I take as much space as possible. He cannot develop his knight. He cannot develop his bishop there, or there, or there. Only place he can develop this bishop is right there. This is helping a little bit. This is helping a little bit, but it has no scope. It is garbage. We do not like this bishop staring into the corner of the board. It's not even the corner of the board. It's the halfway on the other side of the... Brother's staring at Antarctica over here, okay? We don't like our bishops like that. We want it in the center where it has as much scope as possible. Okay. Queen. He develops his queen. Also, you know, you don't want to develop your queen too early, right? If you think of your boy Nelson, right? My crown, bro. Okay. So if you think of your boy Nelson, rated 1300, he develops his queen right off rip, and if you harass that queen, you're probably going to win. We do not want to do this. We want to develop our knights and bishops typically before the queen. So, he moves his bishop. He moves his queen. I'm like, well, who's guarding this pawn? Nobody. This guy can't go here. He either has to go back, let me take, potentially even take the rook. And that's exactly what happens. He loses the rook. He also gives me the chance to double his pawns here, which is exactly what happens. I look over here and I'm like, whoa, this reminds me, if I forget this rook's here, if I get my queen over here, it's going to be bad news bears. So, I develop my knight. See? My knight. Yay! And then, I castle. I say, hey, even though he's attacking this, your boy can develop his knight further. He pushes forward. He takes up space. I don't mind this move. I don't mind it. I line my rook up on g1 to threaten the king. I'm like, brother, you need to get this guy out of here. It's about to be bad for you. I push. I push forward. I keep this tension here. Well, number 1, it's pinned. Number 2, I want to get this pawn out of the way because I don't want him having space. I don't want to have him space. Also, this would open my rook. I take with the rook because this pins the bishop. I can attack the bishop and win it. That's exactly what happens. He goes there. I don't know why he went there. Because now I just do the exact same thing to the other bishop. I pin it to the king. Now he can't do anything. And now I trade because I can. He has to take with the pawn. If he takes with the queen, he loses the queen to the rook. So he obviously takes with the pawn. I add more pressure with the knight. Yeah, complete blunder. Complete blunder on my part. I'm like, hey, I attack pawn. You know, I see that you are not a threat. And that was incorrectly thought. Your boy thought, I'm just going to add some pressure and all that good stuff. I already gave away the next move. Why did he not take my pawn there? What is bro doing? Here, might want to put my rook up, It would mean that the back rank is unguarded, but I have several ways to get out of this situation. I see that my queen is stranded on the other side of the board. He is making my queen look goofy. I am in the back of my mind saying, hey, we need to get this queen back to this side of the board to help out with this attack because he is stranded literally in the corner. I X-ray protect my rook. He goes back. It is defended by pawns. This is a outpost for the rook at this current moment because I cannot attack it. I do not have a knight or a bishop anymore that can attack the dark squares. Only thing that can attack the dark squares quickly is the queen. Boom. Why? I double the rooks. I'm putting pressure on this. He has to guard with there. I asked the question. I'm like, hey, I'm going to take that. Here, that was a bad move on my part. Because now I am on the defensive end. And that's not where we want to be at this current moment. I see that I have this check to win this pawn. And I think that does nothing. I freeze these two pawns. He attacks. I give a check. He blocks with a knight. Okay. I'm like, this is my chance. I can get my queen up, into the attack. I blundered here. This is either a draw or I lose. And my prideful self, he forked me. He didn't see it though. Boop. Bang. He could have taken the rook here. He takes the pawn. Here, I remember I calculated. I was like, he's going to take the rook, and then I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. He takes the pawn, which I run back. He takes the other pawn with check. Now, it is a draw. I see this, and I'm like, I need to get close to my queen. I need a block. I blunder my rook again several times. Okay. Dang, maybe I'm just a goober. I think I'm just a goober. Anyways, I'm running over here. I'm getting frustrated with all these checks. You hear that? That's what it felt like to be checked this many times. So, me being frustrated, I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to start moving wherever the heck I feel like it. That leads me to checkmating myself. I am up. How many points of material? 4. I'm up 4 points. I'm up a piece and a pawn. And me being so frustrated, being tilted. Do not play when you're tilted. Yeah, that led me to being checkmated. I get myself checkmated. I just wanted the checks to stop. Alright? I heard that in my dreams. Awful. Anyways, I am again with the white pieces. I take 2 pawns in the center. He moves the same pawn. We do not want to do this. Stick to opening principles if you are under 1,000. He moves the pawn forward. I develop a piece. This is what we want to be doing in the opening. Also, this move, a little too late. I push forward, and now he has to move the knight again. I get rid of that knight and develop another piece. That does nothing. I don't think. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, that does nothing. All this does, I'm able to push and make him move again. I pin it for... Dang it! Dag nabbit, bro. I pin it so that I'm able to push and take it for free. He sees that. He pushes the pawn forward. I'm forcing that to happen with that pawn move. He's like, oh no, I need to attack this bishop. This is a tactic. This is a famously known tactic. If he takes my pawn, I take his rook. So he guards the rook now after moving the bishop. I'm like, okay, well, I need to take. He did. I don't know why he did that. He damages his pawn structure. Maybe because he didn't like the follow-up move, Queen B3, attacking the pawn. He was like, I don't know how I'm going to defend this. I'm going to lose a pawn. So he does probably that because of that. But now his bishop looks goofy. Look at his light squared bishop. I move back because I don't want this discovered attack. He can push that pawn forward, attacking with the bishop and taking the pawn and potentially winning the bishop. Or just a pawn. Either way. He goes here. I'm starting to not like this central pawn. I take my queen here to attack this central pawn. As well as on top of like getting out of the discover attack. That was my main priority. And I did that while attacking this at the same time. Anyways, he moves his queen on h4. Lining up with here and starting the pawn. I develop my knight. I know I'm not liking this guy, so I'm like, I need to bring more firepower into this situation. So I develop my knight, potentially going to g3 so it can attack the pawn over there. I see that he guards it. Now, for you astute chess players, there is something they call en passant. It is French, la français, where I can take with this pawn on e5, I can take it on f6. Typically I am like, hey, it's forced, but I don't know why I didn't do it here. Take. Okay, I see. So the reason why I didn't do en passant is that he can take with his pawn over here, skittle-bop-bop-bop-pow, on g7. He can take on his pawn on g7, and then he can do the exact same move, and I am not in time anymore. I can move my knight to g3, however, it would not work. It'd be guarded by that pawn just in enough time. So, I move my knight forward. I am blocking off the connection of the queen to that pawn. I'm also developing it more, and I'm saying, hey, oh no, don't attack my knight. He throws in this check first. I move out of the way. This has given up my right to castle, but I don't care. Now he attacks my knight. So I attack his queen. Danger levels. If you've ever heard of danger levels, I see that his queen is almost trapped. If he goes here, I take it with the knight. If he goes here, pawn h3. Yeah, pawn h3. If he goes back there, that is his only safe move, which is exactly what he does. Now I can move my knight. So I move it back after I move it, and I give my space, I give another space for my knight. Boom. I take after he attacks my bishop. He moves, I'm like, hey, finally that central pawn is good enough for me to be taken. So, he lines up his rook into the attack, potentially on my knight. Maybe he wants to push the pawn, maybe he wants to take the pawn. I take it first. It blocks the vision of the rook. And I am having nasty intentions. He castles. Pretty good move. He gets out of the attack over here, so I need to transfer all my pieces to attack him over there. I attack his bishop. He moves back. I see now, right, that if my queen gets to a8, right? We're not playing hope chess. We're not like, I hope he pushes this pawn. Just keep that in the back of your mind. At any point, if he pushes this to try to develop his bishop, because this ain't going anywhere, he needs to reroute the bishop to get him developed. He does not want to push that because that, mate in 1. I move my king. I activate my king. I say, hey, this is guarded by the queen. You cannot take it. He takes with the bishop, putting pressure on my bishop. I want you to take so I can checkmate. He takes. I take with the knight. Ah, dang, man. I cannot any longer do that checkmate on a8. But he just gives me a check. So I have to move or block. I choose to move. He can't give that check all the way down here on g1 because I'll just take it. And I take here. Here, he can take that. 2 different ways. I trade a pawn. I give him more access over here. He does that. I don't know why he does that. But I am fine with it. Because you know what that does? Checkmate. Why is that checkmate, right? If we look at the king, the squares, right? His only escape square, right, is the same reason in this position. Where I was like, oh, well, you know, if I get my queen on a8, that'll be checkmate. Because this escape square over here, right, on d7 is covered by the bishop. So I kept that in the back of my mind. After I take this and he doubles up his rooks, instead of taking that pawn, the critical thing, stopping his escape square, queen a8 checkmate, right? I have shown you a good game, a bad game, an okay game. I think this was an okay game. It was an okay game. Sorry. I hoped you liked the video. I hope you liked the analysis. And I hope you liked the goofiness in this video. Remember, guys, nugs, not drugs. And after that, it is the serious time of the video. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. And with that, thank you all for watching this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Peace.